On this channel, we tend to delve into just about anything, and reckless speculation is always on the menu, whether it be for drivers and silly season, schedule news, random stuff, doesn't matter. And this past weekend, one of the big talking points on all of social media has been the possibility of another Atlanta style super speedway. And I get that because let's be honest, that's something that's going to be a bit of a draw down the middle when it comes to who likes it, who doesn't in the fan base. So, kind of getting on into it, one of the first things that came out about this was from Postman Wookie. He's somebody who's been on smaller teams before, like MBM, among others, and he's in the know. And he put, hearing a popular intermediate track that consistently puts on good racing and finishes is getting the Atlanta treatment soon. And of course, everybody with that and how vague it was starting to throw different things out, whether it be Chicagoland coming back, whether it be Kansas, whether it be Charlotte Motor Speedway for some reason. Didn't matter. Texas was on there. People were throwing those out there. Now, he did follow up on Blue Sky and say that it was Kansas. And I'll be honest, that's a terrible idea. Kansas Speedway has some of the best racing in all of NASCAR. And in any way, changing it right now, I think would be one of the biggest mistakes that anyone at NASCAR could do. Well, it's interesting that I say anything that anyone at NASCAR could do, because someone from NASCAR did actually respond to this rumor, though did not refute it fully, saying this. Mike Ford had said this gained some steam, so can at least confirm that this isn't happening for any NASCAR-owned tracks. So for anybody who was worried about Kansas, maybe about Chicagoland if it came back, worried about just about any of them that NASCAR owns, we're good, at least from what he's saying. Now, of course, the poster of the original rumor did refute this back and forth. And I will admit that I did delve into a bunch of different contacts of mine and got varying results when it came to their answers. Some saying it was a done deal in a rotation, others saying they didn't know but had heard rumors about it, and others completely not knowing this whatsoever, and it blindsided them. So I say this because there's been a lot of talk about maybe Atlantifying, I guess is the right word, one of the other intermediate tracks. And since it wasn't fully refuted that nobody is doing it, and almost kind of sounded like, well, NASCAR and ISC aren't doing it, but check SMI over there. There's still people that are going to be asking, well, is this happening? I think there's a couple ways to look at this, because this could be happening. SMI, for instance, could be doing it. And if it's a 1.5-mile track they're looking at for this, I think there's 3 options: Las Vegas, Charlotte, and Texas. Now, I'm going to get the elephant out of the room right now. I think Charlotte is the worst idea of all of them. Yeah, it didn't have the greatest 600 last year, but people have been clamoring to have that intermediate track back for the fall race, and has generally seen it be pretty good in 2 of the 3 Coke 600s that have been run in the next-gen era. I see no reason to do this, plus having another crown jewel be a super speedway would only chip more away from the legitimacy of NASCAR. Las Vegas is another one that I really don't get, because Las Vegas Motor Speedway, while maybe not getting to the levels that Charlotte or Kansas have gotten to, I think is still one of the best tracks and has some pretty good racing. And I think if a few aero things and maybe engine things are tuned finely, then we can probably have even better racing there. It's had pretty good racing in the playoffs. It's shown to have a lot of drama at the end of those races. No reason to change it. Texas is the easy one that anyone, I think, would pick. Why? Well, it kind of sucks. Let's be honest. It's not that good of a track. And people, when Atlanta was getting reconfigured, said, wait. Why are we doing this to Atlanta? The track's going to wear down really quick, and we're going to end up having just normal racing the way we've always had it in 2 or 3 years. Why don't we do it to Texas? Texas has been awful for a while. It's in a big market, big crowd. If you grow it, that's great. One date on the schedule, too, so you're not oversaturating things. If this does happen, I have to admit this will be probably the only one that I'd be good with, but I don't like the idea of going full on super speedways just because we already have Daytona, Talladega, and Atlanta. You had Texas or Kansas or whatever, you're having 7 to 8 super speedway races on the schedule. Roughly 20 to 25% of the schedule roughly has been carved out for ultimately what can be considered as crapshoot races. And at that point, can you even really crown a legitimate champion no matter what the system is? I don't think so. But there's another option people have brought up. Maybe this is how they bring Kentucky back, or maybe this is how they draw more people to Nashville Super Speedway. Super Speedway, I guess is another way to put it, all of these different tracks, and then maybe you're able to bring in that casual audience. This is exactly what people think of when they think NASCAR. They think big packs, big wrecks, close finishes, those three things. That's what they think when they think NASCAR. The other option is that this isn't happening altogether. Yes, it's been rumored for a while, but there really hasn't been any follow-up to it. If anyone were to do it, I would assume it'd be SMI, but at the same time, nobody has said such. So I don't know which way to point it. But the thing is that this rumor firing off, people, whether it be Mike Ford or even Matt Weaver, who had really pushed back against this, but none of them refuting it or looking into it to the point to refute it, to me says this is on the radar, whether it be Las Vegas, Kansas, whatever. Maybe ISC kind of looked at this and said, we might be able to do something with it, but I would not be surprised if it's SMI. And the thing is, I don't think that this needs to be done. The only way that I can look at this and think that this might actually be maybe not the right decision, but a decision that makes sense is if people from NASCAR and the powers that be look at what is going on with Atlanta Motor Speedway. I mentioned it earlier, but the pavement at Atlanta Motor Speedway right now is wearing out quick. And this happened the same way all the way back in the late 90s into the early 2000s with Atlanta Motor Speedway when they reconfigured it to the quad oval design they have now. And with that, you saw great finishes, especially the 2000 and 2001 finishes of the race that were side by side. Same with 2005. By the time they repaved this track, some 20 some years later with the reconfiguration, the track had worn out immensely. And every single year, drivers, teams, engineers, everybody had said how much it changed. And the same thing is happening right now. It might not be unrealistic that by 2027 or 2028, Atlanta Motor Speedway simply does not have a feasible path to have super speedway racing without having the cars run 130 miles an hour and be slow as molasses. So there is that at least. And if they do it with Texas, well, then you're getting one less super speedway on the schedule, which I'd be okay with. Though I would not be surprised if they took one of Atlanta's dates then and gave it to Texas as sort of a, transfer of super speedways and all of that. One way or another, though, I do think that SMI will want to keep at least one. For the longest time, ISC and NASCAR have had Daytona and Talladega, and SMI has kind of been left out to dry when it comes to super speedway pack racing. And like it or not, that does bring in the eyes. Both Atlanta races are generally more watched than other races around it on the schedule. It's why they moved it to be right after the Daytona 500 last year. And let's be honest, a lot of us are going to tune in and be thrilled whatever happens, whether we like it or don't like it. And the other thing I have to ask is, where is the limit for fans? Fans were not happy when they talked about reconfiguring Atlanta, but they came around to it. It's had good finishes, really solid racing, probably the best super speedway racing in all of the next gen era, and has generally been accepted by the local fans. So it seems like people are cool with it. Generally, it sounded like NASCAR fans have said 6 is the limit for super speedway races on a 36 race schedule. But what if it's 8? What if NASCAR knows they can push it? I mean, after all, Daytona, Atlanta, and Talladega have some of the highest ratings and some of the highest attendance of any of the races on the NASCAR schedule. Why wouldn't they want to try and extend the gravy train? The thing is, at what point do you jump the shark? Is it 8 super speedway races? Is it 10? Is it 12? We don't know. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'll just say that. I would not be surprised, though I'm glad that it's not going to be my adoptive home track of Kansas. And I'm really glad that that's not how they'll bring Chicagoland back. That was a worry I had with how worn out the surface was. If they wanted to stay in the Chicago area and go back there, they could have just made it a super speedway to bring all the casuals in. So all in all, I think that this is something worth keeping an eye on. It's reckless speculation, and no way is it confirmed. But if a lot of people are talking about it and no one has really come out and refuted it fully, then to me, the rumor is kept alive until it's refuted, whether it be in 26, 27, or sometime way off into the future. With that, I want to know what you think, though. One, would you want a new super speedway to be on the NASCAR schedule? And two, what one do you think it could be? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support. And until next time, have a good one.